So guys, big warning, there are spoilers for this film. So if you wish to see this film, go out and watch it and then come back. You have been warned.
Hey guys, welcome back to another week of Ticket Tuesday. I'm your host, Heron HD. So yeah, this is going to be a great time. Hey guys, welcome back to an episode of Ticket Tuesday. I'm your host, Heron HD. And this week we watched the new Hayao Miyazaki film, The Boy and the Heron. This is said to be his final film and a bit of his swan song, shall we say. And overall, I think the film was amazing. I loved everything about it. Well, most things. Obviously, the film wasn't perfect, but whatever. The animation was great. The story was really endearing. The characters were amazing. And overall, I just found the film really enjoyable. And there were just so many other little details that I really liked. But before I go on a whole rant about how much I liked this film, I'll tell you why I like this film and more back at the house. What is this place?
This world is filled with the dead.
Let's go.
We must protect this world ourselves.
Go back! Now!
Aisha! Aisha!
Don't let go, no matter what. Ready?
You see this world? There's more work to be done.
Hey guys, welcome back to an episode of Ticket Tuesday. I'm your host, HD, and this week we watched the new and possibly final Hayao Miyazaki film, The Boy and the Heron. I'm just gonna jump right into it. This film had me engrossed the whole way through. I really love this film, and I was engaged. I really cared about the characters. I really liked the characters. They're very well written. Really liked them, and overall, the story made me feel like this world was alive. This world was something that I maybe not wanted to be in, just to experience more of it, because I was just so engrossed, I was so engaged, and I was so, at awe of how the world was built, especially, the fictional world in the film, the weird kind of alien world. I don't exactly know how to explain it, but it was just super interesting, and especially with these Miyazaki films, they're all super fucking weird, and this is obviously not an exception. This film was super fucking weird. At least all the Miyazaki films that I've seen are super fucking weird. And, there's just, from weird talking pelicans to, there's, a weird, Willem Dafoe guy inside of a heron bird. And then there's just, it gets super weird, and I love it because of that. Because all the weirdness just kind of adds to the enjoyment, because, even though the world is super, weird and mystical and fantastical, you can still, understand it in a way, you know what I mean? You can still kind of get what's going on, and I just really loved the, otherworld aspect of the film. Not to say that the real world stuff wasn't good either. That stuff was also really good. I really liked the plot of kind of our main character, Mahito, I believe his name was. Sorry if I butchered that. But, the whole arc of the film of him kind of overcoming the grief of his mother's death, the visions, seeing his mother's younger self, coming to terms with his mother's death and, kind of relieving himself of it, coming to terms, as I said. And I also really liked, just overall the plot of the world, the fictional world, the grand uncle trying to find a successor. Even though that was, smaller and it was near the end, I did like the decision that the main character had to make near the end, and how he decided to go back to his world, because, he just wanted to be with his family. I really like a lot of this film, and mainly the emotional stuff was just some of my favorite parts too. The characters, it was really good. So having said all that, this was a bit of a supernatural-ish coming-of-age story, and obviously that I've said all the emotional stuff in this film, the stuff that made me feel stuff now, I'm just going to touch on a small little technical stuff, like mainly the artwork. Holy shit, the backgrounds look fucking beautiful. There were several times in this film where I looked at the film and I was like, holy shit, that looks amazing, right? Like, obviously being a Miyazaki film and a Ghibli film, this stuff is like defaulted to look amazing, right? Like the hand-painted backgrounds and the beautiful animations, all this. It's just like perfectly woven into a really, really well put together setting, and it really got me immersed into the film. Really, really like that. It's like the art was especially like just really, really good, obviously. So essentially, the story, which is actually very loosely, but some of the things in the story, at least the Earth human stuff, is somewhat based on Miyazaki's life when he was a child. So, yeah, so technically a lot of things in this movie were taken very, very loosely, but some of the things in Miyazaki's life were put into this film, like taking the child, living in, like, near the end of World War II in Japan. Also, his mother died when he was very young. She obviously didn't die in a huge fire, but she did die. His dad worked at this, like army part factory type deal. His dad worked there. And he moved out of the city into the country. Some of these things were taken from his life. Obviously, the supernatural talking bird and the giant fat parakeets that want to eat people, they're not exactly very accurate to his real life, but the human stuff is. And about that story, so essentially we have our main character, and as I said earlier, his mother died in a big fire, and then him and his dad moved out of the city into the country. So they were moving out of the city into the countryside. They moved in with his aunt, who was also his dad's new wife, and she's having a kid, and he's like kind of obviously going through a lot because his mom died, and eventually there is a heron who keeps watching him, right? And eventually the heron kind of lures him into a building, and eventually through a lot of wacky shit he gets into a world where it's basically I don't know how to describe it. So basically his granduncle found this rock, right? This weird alien meteorite thing, and he was so infatuated with it, he became obsessed with it, where he built a tower around it, right? And then eventually that kind of created an alternate dimension that he controls, he's the god of this dimension, right? And he perceives the world to be perfect, but it's not, right? They show earlier in the movie, it's not perfect. There's problems with it, but he likes to think that's perfect, right? And near the end, it all comes crumbling down because he was criticizing Earth because, oh, you're gonna be, your planet's gonna be covered in flames, your planet's you're gonna kill each other. But this world falls apart due to disputes with the Parakeet King, right? With Batista, and I think that's kind of ironic because he's having the same issues with the Parakeet King that Earth was having with itself, right? I think that's an interesting irony there. And the other irony is that the world is destroyed because of petty nonsense, right? Just like he said Earth was going to be destroyed because of petty nonsense. It's nice irony there. But also, he meets his mother, but in the world, he meets his mother, but she's his age, right? And they try to meet the granduncle, because the granduncle actually wants the main character to be a successor, and it's this whole thing. Parakeet King gets jealous, destroys the world, the dimension, and eventually there are these doors that lead to could lead to anywhere, right? Anywhere at any place in time. And there's the present door where our main character needs to go through to go back, right? To go back to his timeline. And there's another door that his mother has to go through to get back to her timeline. And they go through it, and eventually the film ends on a pretty good note, on which, you know, they're moving back into the city, they're moving out. By the end of the film, his brother, it looked like it was his brother, is born. It's 2 years after the war ended. And, you know, the film just kind of ends with him getting ready to leave, go back to the city. And it's a pretty good ending. He overcame his grief because he was able to say goodbye on his own terms with his mother. You know, he was able to, air out his dirty laundry, kind of. And yeah, overall, I think the film was just very, very, very enjoyable. Very touching, very emotional, kind of existential in some areas. Very, sometimes philosophical at points. It's a very, very enjoyable film to me. I really, really liked it, and I would highly recommend it if you're a fan of Miyazaki, you like Ghibli, or if you just, want to watch, like, a good coming-of-age story. Like a weird, like, supernatural coming-of-age story with man-eating parakeets. Like, that is what I'd recommend. But yeah, totally recommend it. And I think I would rate this film an 8 out of 10. 8. 8 out of 10. And, yeah, I think I said all I need to say. I think I said my piece. So, guys, hope you like this video. Share with friends, subscribe, turn notifications on. Comment down below how much you liked it. But you guys know how this goes. I didn't really mean to say that. What I really meant to say was if you guys hated this video, unsubscribe, discontinue, which hate me in the comments. I've been Runtime HD, flying off. They're gonna eat birds. I don't know, birds. Everywhere, pelicans. Bad luck to kill a seabird. Willem Dafoe's in this movie, so I can say it. Bad luck to kill a seabird. I did it.
Now end it before it crashes again.